I'm Patrice.
And I'm Darrel.
A little less than a decade ago, we followed our dreams and we built an incredible treehouse resort in the heart of Atlanta.
A few kids and 6 homes later, we're embarking on our biggest project yet.
A tiny home resort in my hometown in upstate New York.
With our bags packed and our tools ready to go, we're gonna open a resort in less than 8 weeks for our first guest.
Join us as we build and create the tiny treehouse escape. Previously on the Tiny Treehouse Escape.
We have officially started digging the foundations. We could probably put picnic tables through cornhole boards here. That's a good idea.
Cheers.
Cheers. Did you guys drop it?
Yes, sir.
Put it down. Put it down. Put it down. Shut it off.
Darrel was a little bit frustrated, of course, just because, we're just trying to be as safe as possible here. But things do happen, and that's why, everybody's got to be, eyes and ears all the time. The forks got a little bit too tilted, which allowed that strap to just slide a little bit.
Take a break. You guys take like 15. Take 15? Take 15-minute break. Nate, grab lunch.
We are starting to feel a little bit of the pressure with the timeline now. What happened with that little bang over there was that one of the straps was a little too tight for us while we were working up top. So we were lowering it down to be able to loosen the strap up, and it got caught off the fork with the weight of the board because it's so heavy. We had to take a little break and kind of regroup.
Yes, sir.
Yo, these guys just literally just dropped the panel out of midair. Literally in midair just dropped it flat on the ground. So I literally just shut them down for a little bit because I don't know what to do, because at the end of the day, I can't manage all of them at one time with this huge project. So I'm gonna shut them down, all right?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Nick, bye. And that was real life. These guys, shut them down for the day. Panel completely fell. I said, how did it fall, guys? He said, oh, it was too far on the fork.
Yeah, that was a big cloud of dust, so I know something fell.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do to make up on shutting down a workday at 11?
What we're gonna do right now is talk to Nick, and we're gonna have...
Nick's still here or he's gone?
Nick baling hay. He's a farmer first, What we're gonna do is we're gonna have the guys erect building 4 and 5, the lower posts. So they'll still stay busy, put the metal on, and then erect the perimeter for those. Because those is like 4 or 5 feet off the ground. I don't trust them 20 plus feet off the ground with 800-pound panels.
Okay, we'll give hugs later, but I want everybody to be safe.
No hugs for me.
I think good decision.
We've had a couple challenges within the past couple of days. The teams are just starting to mesh and gel. So we've had a couple mishaps. So what I did to manage them and just to make sure that we stay on timeline and on budget, of course, was shift their direction and put them on other tasks, such as the foundation work on site. And then towards the end of the day, I know it's hot, guys are getting tired, so I literally just shut them down and sent a lot of the guys home to kind of have another day to kind of think about things and figure out how to work together. Safety is a priority for me, and that's key on all my job sites. One of the reasons why we're on a time crunch is because our materials were delayed 3 weeks. So our shipment did come in from Finland and Austria on time, but it literally sat at the port in New York for 3 weeks. So the 3 weeks of delay literally compounded on every single thing.
A little bit more, 1 inch. It's perfect. Make it flush with the opening to reset, so you're a 1/2 inch over, so cut 1/2 inch at the bottom.
So today we're starting about a day and a half to 2 days behind where we wanted to be at this point. So Darrel has made a decision to split the teams up. We have a team of 5 guys, including Darrel today. He's really gonna be in the work today, so he's gonna work a full 8 hour on the structures or longer. So he's got one team working on Treehouse 1 and 2, doing the outside rafters so we can get ready for roofing on Saturday. And him and Nick are working on the 3rd treehouse with the goal of completing the 3rd treehouse today. That's the hopes, so that we can catch back up and get back on track.
What you got? 6. Give me 25, 28, 30. Last one, 20, right? 18, but then I added on 14. Don't cut me 32. 30. Yeah, cut me 30.
So today we are trying to complete building 3. We've built the first 2 buildings, record-breaking speed. We built those in 7 days. There's a crap ton of stuff that still needs to be done, from landscaping to exterior build-out, the sheathing on the buildings, roofs, all interiors, they're not even done yet. So the walkway, that's 6 feet off the ground, that's 300 linear feet long, straight shot behind all cabins, that still has not been done yet.
The clubhouse.
Clubhouse build out.
The wedding barn. A lot to do in 31 days. A lot. How many slabs do we need?
2 slabs.
Oh, we only need 2. Oh, okay, perfect. Okay.
Slabs is 103 square feet, and then I forgot what I told Mr. Darrel. I told him I worked with him on that.
Yeah, no, you gave him a really good price. That's why we ended up choosing you. It worked for us. We're over budget in other parts of the build, but I think we don't want to sacrifice nice countertops. But I am continuing to be open to other options. Kind of doing this behind his back because he just wants to go with that, but he's the gas, I'm the brakes. I gotta keep us on budget. I really do. So if you could do me a favor, even if you send it to the group chat, he'll ask me what it's about. I'll fill him in later. But if you could ask your supplier if there are other durable options that look like what I picked.
Right.
Yeah.
Right off. And
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, so let me know.
Patrice, I'll send you. I'll send it to you.
That sounds good. That'll be good.
And then we'll go from there.
That'll be great. That'll be great. We'll be definitely ready in the next few hours to punch the order, though.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, Patrice.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, bye. All right, to countertops. One of the things that I needed to get accomplished today was punching the order for countertops because there is lead time on that. But I was trying to see if I could bring the price down on the countertops, still getting really quality countertops. One of our teammates that works with us in Georgia, he's actually gonna be driving them here and installing them. And the second thing that I still haven't completed yet, but will get done before I lay my head on a pillow tonight, is ordering rugs for the spaces based on the design of the space, which means the color of the wallpaper and the color of the drapery. I really want to have really solid rugs that are gonna fit into those spaces.
What happened? Brief me.
Well, I did tell him we're gonna punch the order in a few hours. However, I wanted him to send me other options that are less expensive, if there are. So essentially, going for the modern, clean look with veins, a lighter color, and something that's durable. So he's gonna send me at least 4 or 5 additional options.
Okay.
Worst case scenario, those don't work, we're gonna go with his 2 slabs.
Okay.
And I did tell him, I was like, just work with us on price, obviously. It's bulk work we're giving you, and we'll give you future projects, and he said he would.
Yeah, because he is leaving Atlanta to come over to New York.
I don't think we're gonna get any better
to
than
literally
that.
hand deliver.
Yeah, anything else would be just rude.
Yeah, and he's also been with us for 5 years.
Yeah.
Consistently, great product. You don't have to manage them, you don't have to babysit them, and that's what we like. We need to look at rugs, make a final 5 or 10, go in there and say, hey, this is for this unit, this is for this unit, or this can be used for.
I'm putting it in my iPad, so you'll see unit 1 through 5.
Okay, cool.
So it'll be in the iPad.
Cool. And then other than that, that's it we got for today. Nick and I, we should be getting this panel up shortly.
Okay, that's
We should
good.
be done by today, realistically. So technically speaking, him and I can crank out one in probably a day, realistically, a day and a half.
I mean, you just gotta be on the job, but like tomorrow and Friday, you gotta work.
Yeah, I will.
Like-
I don't have time to monitor and manage anyone else
No,
today, unfortunately.
let them keep doing what they're doing. It's really smart to split the teams. How I'm feeling about this deadline to get everything done that we need to get done is nervous, anxious, scared at times to meet the deadline. We have guests that are already booked for July 1st. Why are you crying? You're in here crying? Why? Can we shake hands, cause truce, and just be done with it?
Tell the truth, Mama. I didn't.
You didn't?
You didn't.
All right, okay, Sydney, let it go. I believe Yes, Savannah.
Under the floor?
Zombies?
Yeah.
Zombies are not real, baby. We make an effort to wear two hats, right? The business partnership hat, and then removing that and being husband and wife, mom and dad. Right now, we're all in on business partnership, right? There's very little husband-wife. But in August, regardless of what's going on, even if we're pulling girls out of school for 2 weeks, that will be our time to celebrate as a family and not think about work.
One of the biggest challenges of having a family-ran business is balancing the time with your spouse, balancing your time with the kids. You know, a lot of time it just seems like when you wake up and you go to bed, it's just nonstop business, 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 24/7. With a family business, there really isn't a shut-off, but her and I, we try our best. Currently, right now, this project devotes all of our time to it, so there is no shut-off. Hopefully, at the end of it, there is the light. Coming July 1, opening day, we'll be able to kind of celebrate, rejoice, and raise our hands up.
Oh, another panel's going in. Look at Daddy go. Daddy's working. Daddy's putting another panel in. He's putting another panel on the treehouse. My draw to this property is that my mom, about 25-ish years ago, there was a property she would always talk about, a property in the country on Pilgrimport Road. And this was just a house that she always felt like if she could someday own or live in, it would mean she made it in life. And so she never got to a point where she could afford this property. So it came up on the market about a year ago. And she sent the listing to Darrel and I and said, you guys should really buy this house. We were not interested at all in buying a house here or even considering building here or doing business here. And we thought, you know, my mom was sick and I said, you know, let's entertain it. So he actually left one morning really early to go pick up coffees at our favorite coffee shop, which is right down the road. And he said he was driving and he just pulled over on the side of the road and said, let me see what's available. And this house was pending. And he goes, we should go knock on the door. This is your mom's dream house. Go knock on the door and see if we can bump whoever has bidded on this house, basically. And that's literally what we did. We came and knocked on the door, put an offer in, and I think within 72 hours, they had accepted our offer. And my mom got a chance to come and see the house, walk in, and she knew we own this house and that we're gonna build something here for the local communities. Yeah. A lot of significance.
Yeah, so the house was purchased in August. We had our first Thanksgiving here in November. So Mom, she was able to enjoy it for one holiday season. And then unfortunately, you know, she passed away several months after that.
You know, I wouldn't be the person I am without my mom. At one point, she was a single mom of 6. And she would always say, you know, don't make an excuse for being a female or being Black. You are afforded the same opportunities. And I think for me, I took that and ran with it. It was the reason that I was so driven academically and got one of the largest academic scholarships my school ever gave out. My mom was a community mom. There's so many kids whose lives she's touched over the 28 years that she worked in the school district. She is my motivation. Some of the days that Darrel and I are working 16 and 17 hours and we're dizzy by the end of the day. She is my motivation for this resort to flourish and be what the local community, New York needs, globally, what anyone needs. So this means everything to me. When I was a kid, I didn't necessarily appreciate the beauty of what upstate New York truly is, especially the Finger Lakes region. And I think it wasn't until my 20s when Darrel and I were dating that we came back here and he started looking at the buildings and talking about the architecture of them and how beautiful the farms were. And I was like, there's a million farms here. There's nothing beautiful about that. He really started to pull out the appreciation of the beauty of this area when we started dating.
Yeah, I'm really enamored and love old structures. All the buildings here in town are from the 1800s, of course. And I saw the beauty in these buildings from the first time I pulled into town. The downtown area is lined with solid stone structures. And I knew that one day that I would like to own a piece of something up here, but I did not think that it would come in the form of doing a business like this at that time.
I didn't understand how amazing these buildings were until I learned more about construction, right? Now that we build structures, I understand the fine details of these buildings now, how expensive that is, how long that takes. So I'm able to see my town very, very different now. Right now I am picking out rugs. So what you have here is this is my flooring. It's oak hardwood. The color of my cabinets, the swatch of my bed head, and the color of my chair. And so what I'll be doing is matching up rug colors right now. And that's what I'm working through. That's kind of one of the final pieces. I wanted to go round to break up all the different angles.
Correct.
Okay, cool. You're good with that.
Yeah, I agree. That's a smart choice.
So I would kind of have the circle going like this.
So what you're saying is,
Yeah, draw.
you want the bed to kind of bisect it
The bed, yes.
this way?
Nope, the opposite. The other side, because the chair is over there.
So you want it to go
Exactly.
this way?
Perfect.
Roughly?
Yep.
Okay, and then the chair.
So probably pushing up a little bit
chair
more.
would be
Exactly.
right here in this area.
Yeah. So that's why I'm thinking 6 foot should be plenty.
Okay, I agree.
Okay.
Probably a great placement for it. to be
Okay.
6.
Let me see the different color. I love their solid color. I was looking for that.
What color that literally screams at me right now
Yes, show
are
me.
the grays, dark beiges, and browns. But what I fear is that
The beige is being too close to the floors.
beige being too close to the floor.
I can pull a light blue. So these are my rug options.
There's not that many round options out there.
So if we're not gonna do round, whatever we do, it all needs to be the same.
That's fine.
Yeah, we can't make the same mistake we made in Atlanta where we're ordering and trying to figure out all these different rugs. We can't do that to the staff.
Several mistakes that we made in Atlanta was the funding wasn't right. So we had to piecemeal the Treehouses and the Atlanta property together. So we didn't do any planning in phases. So Atlanta just came about when we had money, we built things, saving, and then we build. So right now we're learning to have a strategic plan from the beginning and vision for the entire property, which is why we're building 5 now in phase 1 and 5 later in phase 2. Rectangle 5x8 would probably be your best bet, right?
I think this one is a good option for all the units. It's gonna make reordering them in the future and for the staff much, much easier. Are you comfortable punching the order on those?
Yeah, let's
And
do
I
it.
order 2 extra?
Okay, yeah, let's do that today.
Okay,
I think that works.
all right, sounds good.
So what I would like this resort to show the world is that small towns are resilient and they are full of life. For me, this was a dream and a goal for my wife about 7-8 years ago. And for me as a husband, I feel accomplished that I have given her something. We have done something together as a unit, and that now she's able to have a dream that has been completed fully.
Yeah.
Over here is another area where we can put a second pickleball court right here on the side, and people could hang out or picnic tables.
That's a good idea.
Also,
But I also think about extending this wedding barn when wedding season gets really successful, and just making sure that that doesn't interfere with the weddings.
Yes, it's gonna be blacktop.
Okay.
Ultimately.
That's cool.
We can put it right there.
So I think another unique element of this resort as a whole will be the aspect of wellness, and it's gonna be weaved into every resort we build. It's important to us, ourselves, and our family. Each A-frame treehouse will have its own personal hot tub directly across their A-frame structure. And then we'll also have a communal sauna that guests can experience. And then in the winter months, guests will be able to experience a cold plunge. They'll literally dip right into our pond that's on site. That was something we got to experience when we were in Finland. So we experienced the hot saunas, extremely hot. And then we dipped into the Baltic Sea in a cold plunge, and it was a really incredible experience. And so we want our guests to be able to come to our resort and have that same experience.
I believe that from our athletic background, staying physically fit, staying mentally fit, all ties into every single thing we do. This is a very challenging process. The design process took 11 months, roughly, just to design out. And then once we punch our order to get the material here to the US, then it was like go time. We literally had 4 months from then to pick out all furnishings, traveled on site to Finland. We had to make sure all interior materials were ready, build outs, drywall, wallpaper. So just a lot of things and picking and choosing. And then on top of that, we wake up super early in the morning because we have to start 2 hours before everyone else. But, you know, we are developing raw land, which is technically something that we actually said to each other. Well, I said it to her on our first date that I would love to be a developer one day. And here we are 13 years later, we're doing our first project actually developing together.
Yes, you did say that.
First date. So in order to make this open to happen, there was a tremendous amount of things we had to do. First thing was permitting, planning, of course. Next came the infrastructure part of the entire project. We had to put in the electrical, the septic tanks, and then also drill a well. So for electrical, one of the biggest concerns that we had going into the project is the sizing of the wire.
From the road, we put a new pole in, and then me and Brandon and Darrell, we dug from there all the way down through the driveway here. Around the corner, there's a transformer pad, an 800 amp transformer pad, and that's where all your primary cables come in. So that was a little new for me. The biggest I ever done was 400 amp, but it's pretty much the same thing, just bigger wire and bigger breakers.
So unsuccessfully, we were not able to install the electrical. Late last night, we worked until about 3 in the morning. We were trenching the lines and our trencher broke. The tracks hopped off and we were dead in the water at 2 in the morning. And then also we realized that our sizing of our conduit was incorrect. So once again, came with the plan. We are going to try to, once again, put the electrical into the holes and the tubing in the ground. So very scared about that.
Hey, Diaz.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, I'm kind of in a pickle. I'm here on site right now, and I don't think I'm going to make it to finish this job. What are you guys doing right now in North Carolina?
We're doing some bathrooms, some flooring, and got a project for a little small deck. What do you need?
Well, I need about 12 guys. It's Saturday now, I need you guys Monday morning. Can you guys get here?
All right, when do you need it by?
Like yesterday. We only have a 2-week timeline to get completed by July 1.
I'll tell you what, if we need it there by yesterday, we'll be there most likely on Monday, first thing morning.
Okay, cool. So let's do this. I'll give you a shout tomorrow. I'm 100% sure. Just get here. And what I want to do is, right now, I got to scramble and find you guys housing for at least minimum 2 weeks.
All right.
Like we always do. We always make it work. All right, thanks. Later. All right, bye.
Next time on the Tiny Treehouse Escape.
This is not a fun part of my job right now. Nick, are we gonna hit the timeline so I don't have to cancel 16 guests?